Testing. Ah, the good old unplug and plug back in. Um, okay. I want to test something. I actually think my audio drivers might be fucked after whatever TF2 or Source Engine did. So that broke again after I started Unity, presumably because Unity was initializing audio. So let me try opening Unity again and see if it mutes me. Testing. Is it gonna mute me? No, it's good. Okay. Alright, hopefully it's fixed. Man, if a game makes my complete audio driver stop working for like the whole system, that just scares me about what it could be doing. Like, is it actually fucking up my drivers, or what is happening there? Like, basically, if there's a bug in its program, it could do crazy shit, like just delete some of my files and stuff. I don't want to mess with it. Anyways, so this is how scuffed TF2, or this is an interesting thing, because this talks about a whole thing. Or this is about a whole thing that gamers, so you'll constantly hear people be like, oh, well, the game is alive, look at the Steam charts. There's so many people playing it, you can see on the Steam charts. So you can see 100,000 people playing on TF2. Fucking insane, right? Super insanely popular game. Like, this is one of the most popular games as far as I'm aware. Look at this. It's in the top fucking 6. It's actually nuts. And if you, like, this is the crazy thing to me, is that if you actually look at the game, like look at these servers here, if you count up all the players that are actually playing the game, there's like not even 500 real players. If you go into the matchmaking mode, it's all bots. These 100,000 people that play each day, it's literally like 95,000 bots and like 1,000 real players. So like, this just makes me doubt all the other numbers on this. Well, except for like, so this is the thing. I think Valheim's legit. And like, this is the other thing, is if you look at like the daily trend, or if you look at Valheim's this looks natural as hell. Like, if you imagine how people play a game, there would seriously be so many more people playing, like, in the like how it spikes up every like 6 hours, and then the way the game naturally yeah, I guess it doesn't even have 3 months because it didn't come out then. But like the way the game, such like a natural slope, if you compare that to like TF2, like TF2, it's so much more flat. This is actually bad because it normalizes the numbers, or the minimum here isn't actually 0 on the chart. Man, Steam charts is actually so bad for judging how popular a game really is. Damn. I guess Cyberpunk did hit records though. That's weird. I actually didn't think Postal was that big, but 8 playing an hour ago. Interesting. But yeah, I really can't take Steam charts numbers seriously after playing TF2. Seeing the numbers that Steam charts lists for TF2, and then actually playing TF2 and seeing how many people there are. Alright, I'm gonna start preparing some textures and materials. Um I'm gonna create like a world space texturing shader. I might do that first. No, I'll get some textures first. I'm just thinking how I should organize this. Do I just want to call it textures? Yeah, whatever. So the weird thing is I've downloaded a whole bunch of textures, but I never put them all in one place. So I have a whole bunch of textures just sitting in random locations across my computer. Like, some of these are textures. Random generator world works. Like, just random generation, or because randomly generated worlds are technically just, you could just throw a random number generator and take whatever it outputs and place that, and it would randomly generate a map technically. Man, whenever I download textures, I really should save them. Well, I have a few here. Well, it's pseudo-random generation. It's not actually random. You create something so complex that it looks random. Look into like complex systems and stuff like that. Alright, I guess I'm just gonna copy these textures in. Actually, I also have some in test ground, I think. Oh yeah, I did download some materials here. Like Minecraft seed, asking if you know how. Yep, the strand engine that's linked below has source code for random number generation. Just thinking, do I want I don't think I need concrete or asphalt or tiles here. This mud might be good. And maybe stone. I might want ice, but I don't know yet. So I think I'm gonna go on textures.com and get a sand texture. I could have sworn that I had one, but maybe not. What is this game about? It's gonna be a racing game. this, except there's actually obstacles to dodge, and there's going to be stuff that you can pick up. And the scale of the world is all messed up right now. Yeah, I don't know if racing is the right word. Most of it is just going to be like a runner game where you just kind of fly around and try to dodge stuff. But I have an idea, like I kind of want to do a sort of time trial or race for one of the final levels and maybe do gambling in it where you can like bet the money you've earned on the race. I think that would be really fun. Yeah, I want a sand texture. I'm just looking, I downloaded this giant 3D model, San Miguel, and it's got like 300 textures in it. So that's the other thing. If I can use textures from like this, oh my god, I can't remember how to turn on picture previews. I could have sworn it had an option to just easily turn off and on previews. Maybe not. Preview panel, no. Do you actually have to turn it off here? We show icons, never thumbnails. There we go. So we got a dirt texture, we got a wood texture. We get a bunch of leaves and flowers. These are really nice. I don't know what Friero is, but I actually don't think there's going to be sand here. No, but this will have some nice ones. And this makes it so faster so that it doesn't need to load in thumbnails. Alright, let's just find a nice sand map. Oh, this desert sand is what I'm looking for. Exactly. 2 by 2 meters. Albedo, awesome. Beautiful. Alright, I need to sign in. Oh, I'm already signed in. Nice. Do I want 1024 by 1024? I might as well download the 1024 by 1024. And I don't think I need roughness for this, though it would be nice. I could do my own sand shader, but yeah, there's barely any roughness there. Doing my own sand shader would be Really nice. Oh, color checker. This website is so good. Alright, hold on, I'll be right back. Testing. 1, 2. Alright, awesome. So let's make this height map actually sand now. I gotta think about this actually. Do I want to start building the basic map now? Just fixing the import options in this, and I think I want to rename this from new terrain to like, I don't know, just terrain. And now I kind of want to decide, can you try putting texture first? Yeah. That is sand, right? Yep. Hello, MOA development. Nice. I feel like this repeats too much. You can kind of see repeating patterns there. This stuff makes me want to do some custom shader, because I could do, I can't remember what people call them, basically like multi-detail scale. You do two textures. You do one high frequency texture up close like this, and then another texture that repeats over like a bigger scale. So what if you want to put the stone next to it? Yeah, I can easily just put the stone on. You could just paint on the terrain. Wonder what Unity people get up to. I mean, I'm pretty new to Unity, so I don't know if I want to bother trying to get the material looking right yet. If I mess around with this, it messes around with how much ambient lighting there is from reflections. I feel like the sand should maybe be a tiny bit smooth, like 0.05 or something. I don't know, it's hard. You can put more than one texture in one object. With terrain, that's specifically what terrain is designed for. Oh yeah, this could actually be tiled pretty big, I think. Oh yeah, there we go. And then if I mess around with this, I think that's actually good for sand. That already looks way more realistic. Just actually having a texture there. How bright is my light? I probably want like 2 intensity. I'm thinking I'm actually going to want auto exposure in the end, because there's going to be different areas in the game where you're going to be going between like these bright areas and these shaded areas. And like when it's in this shaded area like this, realistically it should have auto exposure where it ramps up. Alright, I'm really happy with that sand texture. But I'm going to completely reset the terrain because this isn't how I want it to look. And I think I want it to actually be bigger. Like, I actually think this still isn't big enough. Maybe make the player move slower and then it'll appear bigger, but I might just make it like 10,000. Wait, what? Where am I? Excuse me? What? Why did it flip me the other direction? Oh my god, Unity is actually the... Man, I actually think that the Unity editor is fucked now. Like, they've actually made it worse in the past few years. I have the clipping plane to 10,000 units. Why it wouldn't show the terrain? Oh god, I don't know. So that very bright spot is going to be fixed by my shader. Do you see the terrain distorting in the horizon? What the hell is that? Is that view distance? Oh my god. That is view distance, isn't it? Okay, so 10,000 might be too large of a view distance. That's better. One of the things I think I'm going to do is, so like, you need to aim a little bit up to go up and just keep yourself off ground with gravity. I'm thinking I'm going to automatically program in a little aim upwards so that like you don't need to constantly be aimed up like that. Maybe I'll just lower the gravity, we'll see. I don't like how this sand texture has these repeating spots. But I guess as long as the player stays within like a certain range, that isn't gonna appear. Anyways, yeah, I think I want world space texture now. I'm thinking about like placing rocks and stuff around here. Like I was describing what I want this level to be. I want it to actually be like a crater in the sand, where there's like rocks making a circle, and then in the center there's going to be like a junkyard, and that's where you do the race. But to do that, I need a world space texturing shader. So I guess I'll just put them in a shaders folder. I eventually think I want to, I already have a bunch of shaders. See, this is the issue. I went through and I made a whole bunch of shaders for Unity, and then they were for the old lighting system, and now I need to reprogram a whole bunch of shaders. Yesterday when I was saying I should actually go back to the old version of Unity 5, I'm actually thinking that. Like, I was weighing the benefits of what the new version of Unity gives me, and it's basically shit. Like, it doesn't give any new benefits. You could argue the universal render pipeline here is a benefit, but like, you could just do all of that custom with a custom shader before. I have to go. Thanks for the stream. See you around, Andre. It's probably pretty late for you. I don't get what is, like, there's some basic shit like this that, like, how the fuck does Unity not have a copy button here? It has copy path. There's no copy and paste. Like, this is basic shit they should have had 5 years ago. Yeah. I made back in Unity 5 like 4 years ago, I made Ethan's graphics kit, a custom deferred renderer. Oh wait, this is really low quality. So it has a skybox renderer. Real-time deferred path tracing. It's kind of just like an experiment. It's not really usable for games. It was all open source. So it had a different form of volumetric lighting. So yeah, most of the stuff I do is like shaders. This is a cool thing I still haven't really seen any other game engines or anything do. This generates a post effect shader using a neural network. So you take an image, you apply your post effect, which for me was just this outline, and then it creates a shader which can like apply a basic outline. This is something I've wanted to actually redo when I get time. But yeah, I used Unity years ago, and I kind of figured out how to use a bunch of stuff with it, and then they updated the engine a whole bunch, and now I have no idea how to use a bunch of the stuff in it. And when I have figured out how to use a lot of the stuff in the engine now, like this shit, the camera just seems to work worse in the editor now. Like, I don't know how to describe it, but it's literally just harder to fly around. It might be the camera easing, but like, man. I did use I did use Unreal Engine as well. I did an Unreal Engine game jam. I wonder if I still have the video. Nope. Nope. I don't even have a video of it. But yeah, Unreal Engine's pretty good. I would say it's like, the way I've described Unity and Unreal Engine to people is that they both, you can do the same thing in both as far as I'm aware. It's just how you do them is different, and it's kind of up to your personal preference. I've really suggested Unreal Engine though to anyone who's not really into programming, because they've really been focused on blueprints and visual scripting. So like, that's the crazy thing, is I feel like Unity is way more designed for like scripting and programming, but the way they've been designing it for these past few years has been the complete opposite of trying to make it like using the package manager and stuff. It's basically trying to make it so that like, they're trying to make it so you don't need to program to build your game, and that the way they solve that is by you getting assets and packages from the asset store in them. But then the quality of the Unity assets things are just so much worse than like the Unreal Engine blueprinting and like how Unreal Engine has been designed. It's aggravating. But yeah, basic stuff like this, like not even being able to copy and paste, is just, it's actually like the Unity developers are like, they haven't done basic shit while they're adding all these extra things that aren't even needed. It's just so disappointing to me, because Unity is like, it's actually a really good engine. At least for the most part. So that's the other huge issue. These shaders are not designed to be modified. It's actually fucking stupid. I feel like I'm gonna practice this for like a week, and I'm just gonna decide that I don't even want to use Unity. My god. So the way they've designed these shaders is, instead of actually putting the shader code in here, they've created a bunch of pre-written, already made code, and then to make the shader, they just toggle on and off a bunch of the features in the code that they've already made in this lit input and forward pass, which is fucking great if you assume that no programmers are ever going to want to come in here and create their own custom shaders. This is like the complete opposite. Like, oh god. People have complained for ages that Unity basically has no documentation on their shaders and basically expects people to not edit their shaders, when that, like, it's such a bad system. So I'm just thinking, how would I even go in to modify this? I would need to create my own custom lit. Oh my god, this is the messed up thing too. They've got different files for the different modes. So they've got one for forward pass, one for Shadowcaster, one for depth only, and another one for lit meta pass. So presumably, if I want it to cast shadows, I also need to, people have complained for years about Unreal docs. The biggest tragedy, I think, was the Unreal Engine 3 forums, how they used to have, let me see if I can Google this. They had this giant Unreal Engine 3 forums on a different website or something, and they basically deleted it without archiving it. Or like they tried to archive it and the archive didn't work. So like there were a whole bunch of posts and things. Yeah, and like they removed the wiki and then someone else rehosted it. But it basically just makes you go, why would Epic Games just remove a giant source of documentation for their engine? This isn't even like documentation though now. Before, it wasn't documented and you could still figure it out. This is now like gone past not documenting it and is just basically making it insanely hard to customize. So what I need to do now is, instead of just making one modification, I'll actually need to go through and make 3 different modified lit forward pass, lit shadow or shadowcaster pass, and depth only pass for the shader I want with the custom texture sampling. Because presumably these actually, at least I think the depth only pass will read alpha clipping from the shader. Let's see what's in the lit forward pass. And the shadowcaster pass. It's weird, the shadowcaster pass should technically be depth pass too, but okay, it does sample the texture. My god, fuck. So this means just to optimize the texture sampling in one shader, I need to go through to 3 other shaders and edit that. And then I need to make one shader that includes all of those 3 shaders. What the fuck have Unity developers been doing for the past 2 years? Their shaders are so badly so I was going through this the other day when I was modifying their lighting. I was looking at their lighting code and just going, oh my god, this is so unoptimized. It's like they didn't even try to stack up. So there's a fairly obvious optimization you can do when you look at their lighting shader. When you look at how it loops through. So they did this, so just to be clear, the reason they created this universal render pipeline was specifically to create a more lightweight optimized version compared to Unity's regular high definition renderer. So I was like, oh man, the reason this stuff is so hard to customize was because they optimized it so badly. But then I started looking at the code here, and the way they have separated all the code into each of these lighting physically based, where they pass through all of the surface information to every one of these lights, they basically, like, I mean, this isn't obvious unless you regularly program lighting shaders, but basically for every single light, they're doing a bunch of multiplications against like the light color and the surface color. And they could just all be done in the for loop at the end, or at the end of the for loop. Like right here, adding this stuff together. I don't know. Let me look this up. Unity customizing universal render pipeline shaders without shader graph. I feel like all of this as well is just because they want people to use shader graph in the blueprint system. And what I find fucking nuts about this is I'm like, if I'm gonna use a blueprint material system, I'm gonna go over to Unreal Engine. Oh my god. I want to use universal render pipeline but can't stand shader graph. Then you're out of luck as Unity concerned. You is actually making shaders harder to deal with. Yep, this is exactly what I'm finding out. Oh my god, I actually think I'm going to go back to my own engine. This is so triggering to me though, knowing that Unity was better 4 years ago than it was now. See, I don't think it's that weird though if Unity's like looking at Unreal Engine, for example, and they're going, oh man, Unreal Engine is getting all these developers who aren't programmers using blueprints, and they try to recreate blueprints like the material blueprint system with their shader graph. It makes sense, but I think it completely misses the mark that like they expect there's no programmers who just want to make shaders with actual code. At least most of the changes to Unreal have been decent. Well, like, that's the thing with like Unreal changes. If you look at like new features and things that are released to Unreal Engine, it's actually great how they do things. Like, you'll just find an option one day that's like, oh, you can access distance fields now, and it's like it's not something that's like automatically in the engine. It's not like a change that completely changes your game or how you build stuff in the engine. It's just like a new thing you can use. Like, I definitely think Unreal is better at putting a whole bunch of new features into their engine than Unity. But that is arguably why people call Unreal Engine bloated. Here's a template. Please note this shader does not match the performance of the built-in shader. Why would this break performance? Normal maps don't work on it for some reason. Properties don't show up. It actually seems like a whole bunch of their shader API is just straight up broken. Found a problem when Cascade is enabled. Should calculate. Huge artifacts with cascades. This template is still valid. Finally added some documentation. Oh my god, here we go. Basic URP compatible shader. Oh my god, this doesn't even have lighting in it. This doesn't even show you how to include lighting, does it? Oh my god. think on the whole, I'd rather have a slightly bloated engine with all the toys than one with stuff behind paywalls, which I think Unity still does. Say, Unreal's lighting system is pretty nice. Oh yeah, Unreal's lighting engine is so much more realistic than Unity's. And that's like part of the bloat, but of course it's like you're willing to have some bloat to have an insanely nice looking game where the graphics just and lighting just work out of the box. Node-based tools are great to illustrate flow and components at a certain abstraction level, but are really a pain when you need to code some complex math. Custom nodes which accept mode are great, however they are not yet available in the vertex stage, so many shaders cannot be replicated with shader graph. Oh, this guy basically sums up how the Unity devs have basically crippled their shader programming system with a few updates. I actually need to think about this now because I don't know why, but I just expected that they would have the regular shader, the same kind of shader formatting that they had in Unity 5. They actually had all of these Shadowcaster and depth only pass in Unity 5, but these were way more general and actually didn't include things like alpha clipping. Having the alpha clipping that accesses the texture now means that when I'm doing these custom shaders that modify the texture coordinates, I also need to now modify this shadow pass because that uses the texture and otherwise it won't match up. So it basically means that like all the stuff that I was planning to do and was supposed to be just pretty easy of just writing a shader is now basically writing 4 different shaders. And that has completely switched up how I'm planning to how I wanted to use Unity. This has made me just a lot more disappointed in the state of the engine. Yeah. I've said a few times now, like, I'm going to be really disappointed if this ends with me just either going back to my own engine or deciding to go for Unreal. I don't think I'm going to be able to think about this all at once. But like, so my game engine, I've been working on game engines for a while. Before, I was working on a game engine in C called Strand Engine. Got pretty far, had physics engine, rendering and all that. I decided to switch over to a JavaScript engine because I think having web-based games is like huge these days, and I'm not trying to make a huge AA game that needs a ton of optimization. But that is obviously still more work than using Unity, or at least I thought. Now when I'm looking at all the things I want to customize with Unity, the thing that's just really... Wait, what? Failed to open lit input? Oh my god, this is gonna be so annoying actually. So like, just doing this one shader, I'm like, alright, I'll go through, I'll edit the 4 different versions so it has correct texture sampling. But then I'm thinking like, okay, what about when I want to do a glass shader? What about when I want to do a refractive shader? Going in and changing these things, it's... Oh, God. I think I'm gonna end the stream. I think I'm gonna just like not do development for a while, at least with Unity. I need to think about this if I really want to spend all this time doing these custom shaders when I could just easily do it in my own engine or in another engine, like another viewer Namori kept pointing out to me the other day, Godot. Damn it, Unity developers. Every shader needs this amount of work. Yeah. It's not just like this amount of work, but like programming shaders is generally pretty complicated math wise, and it normally doesn't look that nice. But the way that they write the Unity code, the Unity shader code, is just. It's nuts. They really write the code. Any other engine would be viable option in comparison. So like, that's why I really wanted to try to find video of the game I made in Unreal before, because it was like, it was really easy to get something good looking. Hold on, hold on. I think I still have it on my YouTube. Looking forward to UE5's new lighting system. I'm pretty happy with Unreal Engine's current lighting system, honestly. All the different options they give you for like distance field shadows, ray traced shadows. I think it's loads above, many parts above. Oh yeah.
Hi.
You probably haven't seen this if you're new here. I made a Twitch ad bypass. If you get ads on Twitch, it's a script for uBlock Origin. Currently blocks ads. It's nice if you don't like ads. Oh yeah, here we go. This is it. Underworld Dungeon. So this was made in 48 hours for a game jam. It's pretty simple, but man, yeah, I definitely understand that Unreal Engine is like a good engine. So if you can probably tell, this was similar to what I'm doing now in Unity, where I was kind of just getting a feel for Unreal Engine and what you can do in it. Dying in your own game. But yeah, watching this actually makes me want to play Unreal Engine again. I just realized the quality is so bad. I think it used to be better quality and YouTube has like recompressed it or something. I'm just thinking though, like to make these gems, I remember doing material blueprint programming, and to make the lava distortion there, you saw at the beginning how the lava swirls back and forth. That's a Unreal Engine material blueprint. I'm just thinking how easy it was to actually do this stuff in Unreal Engine compared to trying it in Unity now. Man. Simple UV distortion, yep. And that is exactly the type of thing I'm talking about in doing Unity right now, how I need to duplicate 4 different shaders just to do the UV distortion. It's like, man. Funny enough, most of the stuff is the same in Unreal Engine as well. Like the physics is PhysX, just like Unity. Unreal Engine actually has much nicer features for physics. Like you can automatically generate it generates colliders out of, you can put in the 3D models and it'll generate basic collider shapes. Like Unity still doesn't have that stuff. Am I gonna kill this guy or am I gonna die? I want to look up how big is Unreal Engine currently. I might need to put it on my hard drive because my SSD only has like 10 gigs left. Unreal Engine Editor is 11.2 gigabytes. Around 20 gigabytes after installing. My install is around 12 gigabytes. Oh, okay. Oh my god, I didn't even get to the end, did I? Did I make the ending just kill you? I actually think I did. Is there a way to turn off YouTube auto suggestions? I actually think I need to get an add-on for my browser just to hide YouTube auto suggestions on stream. More if you install the extra stuff for mobile, iOS, etc. Alright. One of the things I've liked about Unity is VR support, so I am interested in Unreal Engine's VR support. I know that they support VR and XR. I just kind of want to, I might watch a tutorial on how it works. Okay, so apparently adding rel equals 0 to the end of a video link, it will not display not display the recommendations. You can't disable recommendations as it's a built-in feature. Oh, God. All right. Monoscopic far-field rendering. Deprecated. Advanced feature being built. Improves performance. Oh, okay. I know a guy who's working with VR and making a game that's controlled by brainwaves who works in the medical field. Interesting. So how do you get started with VR? Is that it? You just run it as VR and it works? There has to be something to get started. You must have to do something to get started. I guess all of the platforms here are separate. I guess I'll want to develop for Steamvr. What is that? Just tutorials? Alright, I need to look. I'm assuming that this works with all, just generally with Steamvr. Because I didn't see any OpenVR listed there. VR template, which allows you to get into VR differently. See, here though, it seems that it depends which VR API you choose to use, whether or not you choose to use Oculus or SteamVR. But maybe not. Like, the SteamVR should technically support all the other headsets like Oculus and Windows MR. So technically you should just need to use like SteamVR or one of the APIs. Unreal Engine supported VR APIs. So like that's the thing, there's some functions that are only in like the Oculus API, and they should have functions that you can call. So I'm trying to find, like, for example, the documentation on just Oculus API commands. But I don't So there's Oculus documentation. I wonder if its Unreal Engine just gives you direct access to the C++ API. Directly access Steamvr C++ API. I swear to God, if they built it to all go through blueprints, exposed to C++ is severely lacking. You can call blueprint functions in code. Oh my God. Yeah, actually, they're pushing everything, including the VR, to go to blueprints. I can't believe we're building programming for non-programmers. Like, blueprints are still programming, it's just a worse way of doing programming. It takes longer to do the same thing. Yeah, it's easy to get a simple template. Like Unity, you can just do play and it'll just launch in VR. But getting it so that you can actually access the little details of the VR implementation, like for example, Valve knuckles and things, if it can be done in blueprints, it can be done in CPP, but it's calling blueprint functions from C++ code is insanely convoluted compared to just writing C++ code or when they designed the API, and blueprint calls are way less efficient. So the irony for me for seeing Unreal Engine say that they're optimizing this when all these things have shown that blueprints are way slower, yet they're still pushing the engine towards blueprints. Here we go. Steamvr Commands. Oh, these are just console commands. These aren't even like C++ docs. More Shell is a great example of using both blueprints and C++. Yeah, like, I'm not saying you can't use both. I'm just saying if you care about optimization, blueprints are like disgusting and you can't avoid them anymore. So the irony of the engine supposedly claiming to be about optimization, but then you can't avoid something that's less optimized because they've now designed it to be a key part of the engine. Yeah, this is annoying. So Unreal Engine has much nicer features and arguably is even a better engine, but the C++ side is so disgusting, and forcing blueprints on everything makes it hard to access things like SteamVR, and when you do need to access custom C++ APIs, it becomes a bitch to link your blueprints to C++. So like Unity's C# scripting is actually much nicer in that regard. Like Unity C# scripts are actually beautiful compared to Unreal Engine's C++. But then the shader and graphics side of Unity is kind of like scuffed. me see what the lit meta pass is. Yep. Yep. This reads texture data. Oh my god. So I would need to change all of these for a custom shader. I gotta think about if I want to do this. Like, do I want to dedicate this time to custom shaders in Unity? Like, I think so. The engine is pretty great otherwise. But like, huh. Alright, so all of these I need to change to be local to this. I'm just gonna try editing this shader, see how hard it is to at least set it up. Oh god, I actually think it's not gonna work. Because the custom editor option down here, I feel like it might not add new properties. Let me try test. Failed to open source file. Oh, is it under shaders? Not shader library, shaders. All right. Test. I actually don't think I renamed this. World space lit. So when I select world space lit here, it should have a test option at the bottom. No, it doesn't. Oh my god. No. I actually don't think I can even write custom shaders. What? Custom editor. Use the same as they have the same properties. These changes. When I add properties to this template, it doesn't show up in the inspector. So I actually think they have broken it in that new features don't Maybe they did and I just put it as a wrong value or something. Oh, thank God. Okay. It is right there. All right. There is one thing I noticed the other day that is very concerning to me. So I used to get around 3 to 4K FPS, and now with a blank scene, I get around 600 FPS in the universal render pipeline, which is very concerning to me that I actually have like 1/4 the FPS I used to when I used to use the engine. And I have the exact same computer, and arguably this scene actually has less objects than like, this is stuff I feel like you don't even figure out until you use the engine. Like, I've heard people say that the universal render pipeline has way worse performance, even on mobile where it's supposed to be designed for. I can't remember. Where do I change batching? I think it might be in the universal render pipeline. Let's try doing dynamic batching or disabling. Yeah, so the concerning thing to me is that no matter how small I make the viewport, the FPS still stays around 600 FPS, which makes me believe that they changed something with the way their render pipeline works compared to Unity 5 into something way less efficient. Good luck with your choice. Thanks. Yeah, it's like there's no reason why I can't use Unity for this. It's just me being obsessive over the like. That's the huge thing, is these days you can put out a game and it doesn't matter if it lags for a whole bunch of people, it'll still sell and all that shit. But like, I do want to try to care about optimization and that stuff. Oh, like, that's the thing, is just seeing the worst optimization, I would be like, well, I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. But then going through the shaders and seeing all the questionable stuff in here and how the shaders are what define the performance here. And then there's this interesting bug. I am fairly confident I'm going to run into more bugs with this, like how this person says that this stops working after this version of Unity. And I am right past that version of Unity. I'm like the single version past it. But I'll see you. Hopefully, I'll see you around MOA development. I know what they're trying to do here. They did this so that they could write a single shader for all of the transparent and other modes. But in the end, it actually makes stuff super convoluted and difficult to deal with when you want to customize it. Oh god, no. Accidentally built Unity. Shit. Alright, I think I'm gonna end the stream. This has made me rethink if I want to use Unity. Ah, dude, like, really disappointing the direction that Unity has decided to go with their shader system and the render pipelines. Thank you for watching. I don't know if I will stream again today. I think I probably will figure out something else to do with this, but like now I'm really dithering between going back to my own engine and whether or not I want to spend this time messing with Unity's shaders any longer. And then that's assuming that I'm not going to run into any more of these issues with Unity, which I think I'm just going to, because like I was pointing out, they're reading the GitHub of people trying to deal with this same thing of creating a custom shader for the universal render pipeline, and then just listing off the numbers of issues that you run into, because from the issues you can see it seems like Unity has not designed it now for people to make custom shaders, which is it's really disappointing to me as a person who does a lot of custom shaders. Anyways, thanks for watching. I'll hopefully see you guys around again. Bye-bye.